Hi everyone, Snazzy Chapeau here, and it's Christmas time! So let's take a look at the closest thing My Little Pony Friendship is Magic will ever have to a Christmas special, Hearth's Warming Eve. Supposedly, this episode gives us a bit of world building, as it details the uniting of the three races and the founding of Equestria, meaning that this is both a Christmas special and a 4th of July special. Weird. Yet, as so often happens, fans have found ways of reinterpreting the pageant through which this information is presented. So, we'll take a look over the most prominent theories to see which ones are most likely true, and which ones aren't. Theory 1. Princess Platinum and Clover the Clever were lovers. In the pageant, each of the three pony races are represented by two individuals, a leader and an advisor. For the Pegasi, we have Commander Hurricane and Private Pansy. For the Earth Ponies, we have Chancellor Puddinghead and Smart Cookie, and for the Unicorns, we have Princess Platinum and Clover the Clever. The relationship between these last two caught the attention of many fans, as they seem a lot chummier than the rest. They have a physical closeness that's entirely absent from the other pairings, which includes hugging and nuzzling. While this sort of thing happens a lot in the show, since nuzzling is how horses show affection, the fact that only the unicorns do so in the pageant seems unusual. So fans have interpreted this as an implication that Platinum and Clover were a couple. Was this the intent? Consider the source, people. Bronies will ship characters who so much as glance at each other. They ship characters who never appear on screen together. They ship so they can complain about shipping for Celestia's sake. And again, even though there's nothing blatantly saying as much, it's still strange that only the unicorns are that close. We'll just chalk this one up to DHX teasing us. Theory 2. Some of the characters were actually male. According to this theory, just because the main six are playing the lead roles doesn't automatically mean that the historical characters were female, meaning that we're looking at cross-gender casting within the show. In this interpretation, only Princess Platinum is known to be a mare, with most, if not all, of the rest being stallions. This theory is based on three major points. First, cross-gender casting is a common occurrence, especially in theater and animation. Most theatrical versions of Peter Pan see a woman playing the eponymous boy who never grows up, and a good chunk of MLP's leading ladies have voiced male characters over the years. Second, that aforementioned theory about Platinum and Clover's relationship has supporters speculating that if this was the case, Hasbro wouldn't likely approve a lesbian relationship in a children's cartoon. Third, the archetypes are the sort that we normally associate with men, specifically the tough-as-nails Commander Hurricane and the completely moronic Chancellor Puddinghead. I don't put much stock in this theory myself. To counter the first point, while cross-gender casting is certainly a thing, the only instances in which every role is played by one gender is if the cast is comprised entirely of one gender. Since we know that stallions are available for this pageant, I find it hard to believe that all of the main six would get all of the lead roles, unless the available stallions really couldn't act. On a side note, I just got an idea for a radio drama about stallion actors grumbling backstage during the pageant. For the second point, I remind you that there's no definite answer to what sort of relationship Platinum and Clover had, and the writers sneak in shipping fuel all the time anyway. For the third point, I can't even believe the third point exists. The main six are basically playing slightly different versions of themselves, meaning that we're still seeing their archetypes being portrayed, and their archetypes were specifically designed to go against the grain of what is considered right for girls in fiction. To me, assuming that Hurricane and Puddinghead were dudes because they act like what we expect from dudes is completely subverting a major part of the show. Finally, Private Pansy at one point refers to Commander Hurricane as her.
Actually, I don't really hate her. I just really dislike her.
Call me crazy, but I don't think Fluttershy would have messed up her lines that badly. Theory 3. The pageant is mostly fictional. Here's a very interesting one. According to this theory, most of what we see depicted in the play is not real. It's either wildly distorted for dramatic effect, based on mythology rather than history, or made up as a sort of political satire. That last one is especially curious since it then creates a second message, not just that friendship is magic, but that politicians are useless. Their constant bickering and inability to do anything right leads to more trouble, whereas their subordinates are the ones who ultimately defeat the Wendigos and save the day. In other words, peace, logic, and reason won out over hatred, greed, and idiocy. This theory seems the most likely to me as being true. Even if the events did happen in Equestria's past, we know that it's impossible to adapt historical events in entertainment without making some changes for various reasons, some of which are even justifiable. So regardless of anything else, we know that the pageant can't be 100% accurate anyway. Personally, I think all three interpretations are correct. Something like what we saw probably did happen, but much like the landing of the Pilgrims or the midnight ride of Paul Revere, it was probably exaggerated and mythologized over the centuries. Possibly some of the truth was lost during Discord's reign, meaning poetry and hearsay had to fill in the blanks, and possibly some of it was changed in order to teach lessons. So this theory has the most weight to it out of all of them. Except for this one. Theory 4. Derpy was waving at the human audience. Yes. Yes, she was. And you waved back, don't deny it. Till next time, I'm Snazzy Chapeau. See you later. All I'm saying is you want to be careful. Headcanon is Ink Rose's territory. I've seen her videos. She can be a little nuts sometimes. Oh, please, you worry too much. She's not gonna... Oh! I tried to warn him.